I am a member of the Amah Mutsun tribal band. We are so grateful to see all of you here. As you get settled, I just want to say a few sentences. I have mixed emotions on a day like today. If you walk to the back of Mission San Juan, my great-great-grandmother is buried. Her name is Ascension Solarsano, and if you go back, there's a big red marker. Some of you are nodding. That marker was created by my grandpa. And when I see that, or when I look out into this audience, I see family, and that's good. But then I think about why we're here, why my ancestors are buried behind there, why we've gathered here today, and that's where the mixed emotions come in. I get angry, I get sad, I get tired. Tired that we have to keep fighting for who we are. Tired that we have to explain again and again our identity and what it means to be Amah Mutsun. And so today is extremely important, and if we have to fight, I'm glad we are fighting here together. I'm glad that we are doing this as one, not just as Amah Mutsun, but as neighboring tribes, allies to our tribe. I'm so grateful to see so many of you out here so that we can go at this together. We're not just doing it for the people who showed up here today. We're doing it for the people who couldn't be here today. We're doing this for our ancestors. We're doing this for future generations. Specifically, we call attention to Juristac. But this is, like I mentioned, about people and land and spirit. This is about identity. This is much bigger than just this one cause, although this cause is extremely important. This is land that was ceremonial land. This is land that they want to take away, like they've taken so many other things away. And so we are here today to talk about it, to connect with one another, to walk through it, and to continue this conversation as long as we have to, so that this does not happen, and so that we come together again and again every time we need to reestablish our identity. Does that make sense? Yes? Now I have the honor to introduce several speakers and before the walk, and I will begin with our tribal chair. Now, for all of our speakers today, we appreciate and are so grateful that they share their voice. But because we have several speakers and because we have a walk to do, we're going to keep each of the speakers to about 3 to 4 minutes. I know we want to hear more. I know they want to share more. But in order to hear all the voices, we're going to keep it to about 3 to 4 minutes. So like I said, our first speaker will be the chairman of the Amah Mutsun tribal band, Valentin Lopez. I want to say so much more, but I think I'm just going to leave it at that.
Good afternoon, and thank you all for being here. What a wonderful turnout. Whenever we were planning this, we were hoping for 125. I think we exceeded that. Our tribe, the Amah Mutsun tribal band, is comprised of the descendants of the indigenous peoples that were taken to Mission San Juan Bautista and Mission Santa Cruz. Our true history has never been told. We've been ignored, forgotten, and erased from history. Our history includes incarceration, slavery, brutality, genocide, and so much more. And so much more. We suffered 3 periods of brutal colonization. And that colonization, they wanted to destroy our Amah Mutsun spirituality, Amah Mutsun culture, Amah Mutsun environment, and Amah Mutsun humanity. There are very few survivors in the mission. Here in Mission San Juan Bautista, in the year 1823, in Mexico, they gave what was called interrogatorios. Those were surveys or questionnaires sent to each mission. And one of the questions they asked is, how many Indians have died at your mission? The priest here answered that 19,421 Indians died here at San Juan Bautista. And that was after 26 years of the mission being here. And there was another 10 years to go before the mission closed. You read here that there's 3,600, 800, I don't know the exact number buried there. But only Indians that were baptized could be buried in the church cemetery. If you were not baptized, you were buried elsewhere. We don't know where our ancestors are. That's horrible. Our people who lived here, they lived here for well over 15,000 years. And if you think of that in terms of generations, that's 800, 900, perhaps 1,000 generations or more. That's how long our ancestors were here. And our creation story tells us that we have the responsibility to take care of Mother Earth and all living things. And so for those 15,000 years, plus and 1,000 generations plus, our ancestors learned about the water, the bees. They learned about the four-legged, the fin, the wind, the water, the mountains, the places of power. They learned ceremony, they learned prayer. They learned how to keep balance in their world. That is what was lost with that colonization. In 2006, tribal elders came to a tribal council meeting, and they said, we must find a way to get back to taking care of Mother Earth and all living things. That is our way to honor our ancestors who came before us. And that is also our way to fulfill our obligation to Creator. Creator never rescinded our obligation to take care of Mother Earth. Never rescinded that. That is our responsibility today. And the Amah Mutsun are going to fulfill that responsibility. And we ask the public to join us. And that's why today is such a beautiful, beautiful day that you are here to stand with us. And we thank you. I want to just talk about Juristac for a moment before Veronica yanks me off. Juristac was our most sacred site, is our most sacred site. And Juristac is where our big healing ceremonies were held. And Juristac is also the home of our spiritual leader. There's no place more important. And then Juristac, now known as Sargent Ranch, goes into bankruptcy. And an investor group called the Debt Acquisition of America, they buy Juristac. And I talked to the person who afterwards, he called me. He wanted to talk about what we thought about an Indian casino at Juristac. And we said, no way, we could never consider putting Juristac on a sacred site. Their goal is to monetize that as much as possible and then flip it and then sell it. They're just about making money as fast as possible. We are not going to allow that to happen. We say enough of our and cultural sites have been destroyed, there's going to be no more free rides within Amah Mutsun territory. We're going to fight for every one of our cultural sites, and we're going to call on you guys. Please stand with us. Once again, we thank you for being with us here today. This means so much. Pray. We ask you to pray with us. Our tribe prays. That's what brought us to where we are today. Please pray with us. Oh.
Thank you again. And our next speaker will be Blanca Alvarado, a former Santa Clara County Supervisor. Thank you for being here.
As frail as I may appear at the moment, believe me, I am a strong, strong woman. I stand here in reverence, in gratitude, in respect with Creator for this blessed, blessed opportunity to be here with my son Jaime, my daughter Elisa, my friends Kathy Chavez Napoli, Shirley Trevino, Mickey Luna, and all of you, the elders, the ancestors, the children, all of you who have gathered in this sacred moment to do what is right. It is absolutely well known by all of us that indigenous societies from the very beginning of time have recognized that the earth and the cosmos are interrelated, connected to each other, and that earth and that cosmos give us life and sustain us. It is also well known that over the centuries, our elders, our wisdom people, our leaders have provided us with the knowledge that required us to give reverence where reverence is due. And today, once again, where we stand, where we walk, where we gather, in the name of Creator and in the name of our ancestors who have passed, we stand on holy land. I am very, 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 very grateful to Val for the work that he and the Amah Mutsun tribe have done, and all of us together to stop the abuse and the abomination that is before us insofar as the Sargent Ranch is concerned. Prayer is essential. Participation like this is essential. And the knowledge that is equally important. And it now lies on us to pass on that knowledge to others. And this is so important that we will no longer tolerate capitalism to take over our citizens where it belongs. It is traditions, the stories of our past, who we are as people, who have contributed and who have made progress. It is time for us to tell the true story ourselves to others who will listen, and even to those who don't care to listen, because the time will come very shortly, I hope, when we will have an opportunity to really stand up in a super political way to demonstrate to the Board of Supervisors that first things first. We are now confronted globally with a climate change that is ruining the lives of many. And the climate change will continue to put families and humanity at great risk. But we created the risks as human beings. We did that. Now we have to undo the past, and one of our first obligations is to stand in solidarity to deny the permit to the Sargent Ranch people for a sand and gravel quarry. No more of that. You will hear arguments, political arguments, that with all of the construction and the development that is taking place in the South County, that we need that sand and we need that gravel. What we need is clean air. What we need is unpolluted a victory for Mother Earth and for all of us by making sure that the Santa Clara County Board of Supervisors does not approve this project. Gracias.
Thank you so much. Our next speaker, Corina Herrera Loera. Thank you so much for being here.
Good afternoon, relatives. I'm gonna do my best here. So I'm gonna excuse myself before my elders, first of all, and all of my ancestors. My spirit's alive, and I know when I feel like this, I tend to talk more than I need to, so excuse myself. I wrote my speech, so I'm gonna read it off. My name's Corina Herrera Loera, warrior with the shield. I am the descendant of the Irarica people of Zacatecas, Mexico. Representing today my family and our Calpuli Tonaleque and the Mexica Nation. Today I am blessed to walk and stand not behind nor in front of, but beside my husband Gerardo Isteo Loera, descendant of the Pueblo Empowerment peoples. As we continue our individual and collective journey to heal and grow upon this holy Mother Earth. With this copal, smoke, a visual representation of our prayer, I honor all of our relations in every direction. The west, the direction of the women, the life-giving force. The east, the direction of the masculine, the warrior spirit. The south, the direction of the children, the future, and the north, the direction of our ancestors, those who have struggled before us and prayed for each and every one of us to be here today. As indigenous people, we know the importance of honoring all. Today we stand with the Amah Mutsun people to honor and defend our Mother Earth. It's time for everyone, regardless of race, age, gender, ethnicity, our nation to come together with a unified voice to end violence, abuse of all living things, beginning with our Mother Earth. Time for clarity and awareness necessary to make impactful decisions to shift and once again live in balance and harmony with our Mother Earth. Time for each and every one of us to share our true essence, the magic we were blessed with in that very moment our mothers took that sacred journey between life and death and birthed us full of love and life. The medicine that life-giving warrior force, unapologetic strength and power each and every one of us carries in our distinct way. The one that allows us to honor, respect, lift one another, speak, and stand up with respect, integrity, authenticity, and courage for the truth. We know that, Creator. It's that time. We end today with a song calling upon all creation to continue to bless us all gathered here today, along with providing clarity and guidance to all leaders to make wise choices on behalf of our Mother Earth. May we continue to heal and manifest a collective vision that includes all.
and I'm just grateful for that. I'm grateful for all of these voices. Our next presenter is Tiffany Yap. She is from the Center for Biological Diversity. So thank you so much for being here, Tiffany. She'll be our next speaker.
hosting this call to arms to protect the Juristac and preserve its culturally and ecologically valuable lands. As a biologist at the Center for Biological Diversity, I'm honored to speak with you today about the climate and biodiversity here in And I want to explain why our organization is so concerned by the destructive plans of the sand and gravel mining here. These beautiful lands are home to federally endangered and threatened wildlife, including iconic state species like the California tiger salamander, the California red-legged frog, and the California condor. These species are symbols of California's wilderness. They need places to live, and if we don't fight to protect what little habitat remains, we could lose them forever. Juristac's undisturbed grasslands, oak and riparian woodlands, streams, and wetlands provide habitat for thousands of plant and animal species. Burrowing owls and golden eagles hunt their prey in the grasslands. Bobcats slink through oak woodlands and riparian corridors in search of food and mates. Western pond turtles bask in the sun after feeding in the ponds. Garter snakes feast on newts that have gathered in breeding pools. Bats and native bees pollinate the high number of native and rare plants throughout the area. This area is also an important connectivity corridor for regional wildlife movement. Animals need to be able to move and venture to different habitats to find food, shelter, and mates. But too often, roads and development block in and isolate animals, which threatens their survival. For example, loss of habitat corridors for wildlife populations, including those in the Santa Cruz Mountains, has led to dangerous levels of inbreeding and low genetic diversity. Mountain lions in the area are now vulnerable to extinction. But Juristac provides hope. The area serves as a much-needed connectivity corridor between the Santa Cruz Mountains and the Diablo Range. We can't allow further habitat loss and fragmentation in this important linkage. Juristac is also an important stop within the Pacific Flyway, a 4,000-mile stretch of land from Alaska to Patagonia that migratory birds use to follow food sources or move between their breeding grounds and overwintering. Tricolored blackbirds, white-tailed kites, and Leesbell's vireos are just a few of the migratory birds you may spot around here. These vibrant ecosystems make Juristac a truly special place. They also provide life-saving services that we rely on. They help clean our air and drinking water. They protect our communities from mudslides and storm surges. They pollinate our crops, and they store carbon as climate change continues to threaten our health and safety. California's wildlands continue to be threatened by human activities that promote Sargent Ranch mining operation. Our state has already lost at least 1 million acres of oak woodlands and over 90% of our riparian and woodland habitats. We can't afford to continue plowing through and fragmenting lands with high ecological and cultural value. Instead, we must preserve California's unique habitats, animals and plants, while respecting the historical and spiritual significance of Juristac. The Center for Biological Diversity stands with Chairman Lopez and the Amah Mutsun tribal band to protect and secure stewardship of their traditional lands. Thank you.
So our next speaker will be Alice Kaufman for the Committee for Green Foothills. So if Alice could come up.
I'm loud enough? Okay. Hi, I'm Alice Kaufman. I'm Legislative Advocacy Director with the Committee for Green Foothills. And thank you to Chairman Lopez and the Amah Mutsun Tribal Band for inviting us here today, for hosting this walk, for making us all realize the importance of this amazing place known as Juristac, and to the threat that hangs over it. As Tiffany just mentioned, Juristac provides a critical landscape linkage for wildlife that need to migrate in and out of the Santa Cruz Mountains. A quarry in this location would create significant barriers to wildlife movement, as well as scooping out giant cavities in these pristine hillsides that will permanently alter the landscape. The Sargent Ranch quarry proposal would result in 4 open-pit mines, hundreds of feet deep, spread out over hundreds of acres. The quarry would operate for 30 years, pumping about 76,000 gallons of groundwater each day, and generating hundreds of truck trips per day to transport the sand and gravel mined at the site. And when they're done, they'll dump the leftover rock back into the giant pits they excavated and call that restoration. The destruction of habitat, the noise and disturbance from quarry operations, and the waste generated by the quarry all will significantly impact the wildlife that live on and move through Juristac. But we're not going to stand by and let this happen. In a couple of months, the County of Santa Clara will begin the process of receiving public comments on the environmental impact report on the proposed quarry. This is our opportunity to make our voices heard. Committee for Green Foothills will be creating a page on our website with a form that you can fill out to submit your comments to the county. If you come and see me during the walk, sign up to receive our emails, then we can notify you when the time period for submitting comments begins. If you are on the email list for the Protect Juristac website, you'll also receive notification when that happens. So make sure that you're on somebody's email list so you know when it's time to send in the emails. We also launched a public statement of opposition to Sargent Ranch Quarry. Nearly every environmental organization in Santa Clara County has signed on, and more are joining every day. We're now starting to ask other organizations in other counties, as well as non-environmental organizations, as well as elected officials and community leaders. So if you represent an organization in the community and you believe there should not be a quarry at Juristac, please see me during the walk and add your name to the list. Remember, when we stand together, we can make a difference. We can stop the destruction of this important ecological and spiritual place. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you so much. So our next speaker is Andy Hacia Coron. He's a member of the Preserve Our Rural Communities, and this organization is mobilizing to stop a different massive development plan right here, which our tribe also strongly opposes.
First of all, I'd like to thank Chairman Lopez and the Amah Mutsun Band for giving me this time to speak to all of you. I am really proud to be here. We brought folks from our group, Preserve Our Rural Community, and people who work to stop fracking in San Benito and Monterey County, where the indigenous community played a very big role in both of those two battles. As was mentioned, the Juristac is not just at risk by the decisions of the supervisors of Santa Clara County. The supervisors of San Benito County have decided to take this beautiful sacred corridor starting at Bedabel Road and ending down at the Rocks by the Red Barn, the whole stretch of San Benito County's frontage and Highway 101, and turn it into a Disneyland disaster. Their plan is to take 4 out of their 5 on-ramps and rezone them commercial, and then set up hotels at all of them, housing at all of them, retail stores, gas stations. So 2 of the nodes, the Bedabel and 129, are part of Juristac. The other 2 nodes are on either side of the Rocks, which again, according to Anne Marie Sayers and others have told me, was an incredibly important sacred area, and they have no respect for the sacred whatsoever. Nor do they have respect for the fact that there's little water in the area. The area down south there is in critical overdraft, and they intend to put in hotels and housing, which will suck up what's left of the water. At the Betabel site, to get a sense of just how profane they are, they're not honoring the history of this area. They're honoring South Florida truck stops with an alligator pond, a 50s style diner, Elvis cloning, and a drive-in. That's what they want to put on the sacred site of Juristac at Betabel, where we're walking to today. So we're not going to take this lying down. We proved in these two counties that we could take on the most powerful industry on earth, the oil industry, and beat them, even though they outspent us 18-1. We together can beat these developers and the county supervisors who just see tax dollars and a way to rob the people traveling down 129 of their money as they go through our area instead of actually coming to visit this beautiful place. So this Tuesday at 8:30, many of us are gathering the San Benito County supervisors to protest because they are going to vote to do their rezoning, and we're not taking this lying down. We are immediately going to launch a citizens referendum, collect 4,000 plus signatures, and any or all of you can help us. Anybody who's a registered voter in California, you don't have to live in San Benito County. You can come down and help us collect the signatures. Once we get it on the ballot, it will be put to a vote to the people of San Benito County, and they're fed up with giving away our county to developers. So thank you very much. My wife, Mary, raise her hand. Okay, Mary's got a clipboard for those who like to volunteer and help us out. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So before I bring up a member of the Echelon Nation, I have two quick announcements. First, if there's anyone that still needs to register, and what I mean is sign the two clipboards. There's one for a basic sign-in, and then there's one for liability. If you haven't done that, if you could make your way to the black tent and do that right now. The other quick announcement is that we do have a couple more speakers, but then we're going to be immediately having the walk right after that. So if you have to use the restroom, now it might be a good time to do that. I believe they are that way. I'm supposed to point, but am I pointing the right way? Okay. Is it the jails, you said? The jail. Okay, past the jails or near the jails, I'm told. Okay, so if you need to use the restroom, it's over there. If you need to register, it's over by the tent. So if you could do that, thank you. Our next speaker is Louise Ramirez. She is part of the Ohlone Costanoan Nation Echelon tribe. She's one of our neighboring tribal nations. Thank you.
Hila kaname kalai, Iwana matsa, Yama Mutsun. Tishma, Yal Kintu Kanam Shamasana Tahawi Bizi, Asia Pamia Michapa Samoatas, Atama Hatan, Ohlone Costanoan Echelon Nation, Efehe Hetan, Greater Monterey Bay County. My name is Louise Miranda Ramirez. I am the tribal chairwoman for Ohlone Costanoan Echelon Nation. We are the indigenous people of Monterey County. We are here today because we must all stand to protect our sacred sites. What you see happening here is happening everywhere. It is happening in Monterey County, where the city of Monterey, within a point of contact on one of our largest villages, is building a park. It's a burial ground, and they're making it into a park where they have a statue of Sarah overlooking the bodies of our ancestors. That needs to go. They are dancing when they have events there, they are dancing on the graves of our ancestors with no respect at all, and the city wants to do even more. They want to build an amphitheater there, and they want to build a parking lot over the birthing rock, and they want to do this so they can get more visitors. This is happening everywhere throughout from San Francisco Bay Area down to Big Sur. This is great that you are out here to give respect to the indigenous lands and the indigenous people. But this is something more. We need you to continue to stand up, to step up, and to continue to respect the history of all of our people that goes back thousands of years. We need places to rebury our ancestors after they are being destroyed by the so-called progress of the cities. So I'm very proud that you are here today standing with the Amah Mutsun and making sure that that site does not get disturbed. And stand tall and continue. Remember, there are many sacred sites, and we can all together take care of them. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Shirley Trevino. Shirley's from right here in San Juan and runs a campaign against gun violence. So another supporter of the Amah Mutsun.
Quiero dar las gracias a Manu and the group because of they let me have this stage when somebody canceled. But I want to let you know that I'm a Kickapoo Indian. My ancestors were Kickapoo Indian from Texas. They chased us with Winchesters from the upper northern United States into Mexico and Texas. So as a Chicana and as a Kickapoo, we stand behind this effort to stop that quarry. As you know, the power of the people is greater than the people in power. And as Cesar Chavez once said, once you begin a social movement, you cannot reverse it. And that's important to all of us to stand behind this effort. I have a target on my back because I am brown. Young Chicana and a little Chicanito and others got killed at the Gilroy Christmas Hill Park not too long ago. Chicanos were targeted in Texas, and now we're targeted again. And we have decided in San Juan to work together to try to organize a march against gun violence and violence against immigrants. We meet on Sundays. Our next meeting will be September 22nd at 5:30 at 203 6th Street. We invite you to join us because this effort is our effort. And those guns that are killing our people must stop. And we have the power to do that. Thank you.
Our next speaker is a Amah Mutsun tribal member and council member, Karina Luna Giri.
Mishmin Uyakiste, Gadraga, Tikini Nageri, Mutsunka, Tomoy Tomorok Takas, Gun Anna Lillian, Gun Apa Rupen, Gun Mene Susana, you Josefa Velasquez. Hello, my name is Kanina Giri. I'm Mutsun from the villages of Tomoy and Tomorok. I'm also a councilwoman for our tribe. And I just introduced myself and talked what line I come from. Our council is going to each introduce themselves. welcome. Thank you all for being here. Also from Madeira.
Hello, I'm Denise Espinosa, Tribal Councilwoman. I'm originally from Madeira, now living in Leyva. Thank you all for being here.
I'm Eleanor Castro. I've been voted into Tribal Council this year, and I'm very proud of my tribe. And thank you for all being here. Oh.
My name's Ed Ketchum, and I'm a tribal council member and the tribal historian. I'm very happy that somebody showed up here and gave us our respect that we need. I'm very happy that we have this chance to talk, but I'm really getting a little stage and a little stop, so I hope that you can talk now. Thank you.
We have 7 of 10 council members here. So we're really happy with that.
So we want to thank everybody for being here and for your support. Juristac literally means the place of the big head, and this name's derived from our deity, his name is Mutsun. And our religion is polytheistic, so we believed in many deities and gods. And Sargent Ranch is a special place because many ceremonies happen there. And when that happens, these gods come together to heal the land, the people, to keep, just to keep our world turning. And so to destroy this place is, unconscionable to think, what can happen, because these are not renewable. You cannot, once they're gone forever. And it's important that we stand together to protect this place, because for our people, there's not many places that are in that pristine condition still. And our gods are not, in our spiritual places, are not something tangible that you can touch or see. And so a lot of people don't understand the value. But we really need your support. We're happy that everybody's here, and we hope that you spread the word. Anytime you hear of a meeting or any type of other gathering, we need your support. Like I said, this is, and our chairman Val, noted, this is the most significant place for our people, and this is all we have left. There's not much left for us. So I really appreciate your time, and shururui tumoyu tomorafutakuas. Thank you.
Our next speaker is going to be Caroline Ward of the Fernandino Tavium tribe. I'm just going to have to correct me. From Southern California.
Just 20 miles north of Los Angeles. My grandmothers are Mary Cook Garcia and Margaret Rivera Ward, both of which have one common ancestry, and that's Leandra Colta. Leandra and her ancestors were known to inhabit the Santa Clarita and San Fernando Valley prior to European contact. I'm sharing this information with you because our village site, which is Chayanga, currently known as Six Flags Magic Mountain, is under development with 44,000 homes. And Leandra, I just recently discovered her remains are nowhere to be found. I'm actually in search of her remains at one of the universities there in Los Angeles somewhere. So today, I am standing with Val and his tribe in solidarity and support of this effort to save their sacred site. It's great to see so many people out here. I sent a letter to my tribal senate and said, this is what resistance looks like. This is what we do for our ancestors. Do not negotiate with terrorist developers, period. This is a beautiful day today. I'm happy to be here. What Val's doing with this tribe is going to set precedents for the state, for all California Mission territories. Thank you for allowing me to speak.
Our next speaker is going to be Wounded Knee De Ocampo, an elder from the Tuolumne Miwok tribe. Wounded Knee.
Today, we give thanks to the Creator. A beautiful day. He already sent this message to us as Earth people. Today, we send you a message about something sacred to indigenous people. But first, I must honor Valentino Lopez. And I know the ancestors are watching. I know the grandfathers and the grandmothers are watching. I know your ancestors are out there watching too. So today, we give thanks for another day on Mother Earth. But first of all, I would like to introduce some of my friends that are battling to protect sacred sites. It's nothing new to the American Indian movement, because we've been fighting to protect sacred sites ever since the late 60s. We have walked across this country many, many times on the longest walk in 1978 to present bills to Congress about our sacred sites, our water issues, our sovereignty, and our treaties. And we stand before the day to honor you people for joining us in reaching out to other groups across this country and tell them the struggle of indigenous people, of what we're going through. Today, I want to introduce my friend Bruce from the Pit River Nation, fighting to protect Medicine Lake. We got a place in the San Carlos Apache is fighting to protect the San Carlos Apache in Oak Flats, led by Winslow Noyes, because they discovered $61 billion worth of copper. I want to introduce my friend Naiji Dominguez, whose father walked with me on the longest walk across this country to we had 11 bills in Congress against the government, against indigenous people. So we want to deliver that message about sacred sites. Mother Earth is a sacred place. And she gives us everything that we need to survive here as Earth people. But I want to thank my friend Kat for inviting me down here. I want to deliver this message to you. There is 13,000 of our ancestors at UC Berkeley locked up in gym lockers, cardboard boxes, and sacred objects. And we want them back to be reinterred back into Mother Earth. They have built malls, they have built highways, they have built freeways, they have built schools, churches on top of our sacred site. I have nothing against churches. Our grandfathers and grandmothers and our spiritual leaders never tell us to criticize other people's religion. And we will not do that because we reach out to you as our people to deliver that message that all life is sacred. But I must tell you a story so you understand why we talk. My mother was born on the Miwok Reservation. She was taken 5 years old from her tribe, and Mel pointed out the boarding school. They took my mother 500 miles away from her mother to Stewart, Nevada. And what did they do to the Indian kids? What did they do to them? So the pain is still there. I am wounded. I'm still hurt. And Indian people across this country, indigenous people, are still hurt. So we reach out to you. What they did to them children. Just imagine to take your language. How many people out here speak different kind of languages? Raise their hand. I'm very proud of you that you can speak different kind of language because they took my mother's language, said never to speak Miwok language. And what else did they do to her? Took them to the woods. There's nothing to the indigenous people. So the pain is still there. The ancestors are watching us today. And we honor you for joining us in our struggle to protect sacred sites. Enough is enough, but I must warn you, at Sagoate, we took over Sagoate. Cat was there. We took it. Because it wasn't about winning or losing. It was about taking a stand for what we believe in as indigenous people, to protect the ancestors, to protect our sacred sites. That's what we did. And they come with this word. We've been compromising since 1492. But we reach out to you. I listen to the groups up here. We need your support. Valentino needs your support. Indigenous people across this country need your support. We would never go over to your cemeteries and destroy your ancestors. We would never do that. So we reach out to you. We make a plea to you to help us. Your responsibility and duty right now is to protect Mother Earth. Mother Earth is crying. The ancestors are crying. So we want you to join us to protect these sacred sites. Enough is enough. When this walk starts, I know you want to walk. I carry this little eagle staff. And there'll be staffs out front. Stay behind the staff. We are in deep prayer. We are communicating with the ancestors and to the Creator for giving us life on this earth. If you want to talk, stay in the back. But we'll be in deep prayer. We'll be talking to the ancestors. So I honor you and your tribal council for taking a stand. Never give up. I learned this many, many years ago. Never give up. You only lose when you give up. Because your ancestors will be guiding you to walk with your spirit. Keep that in mind. My friend Daiichi will give you an honor song. This song been sang at graveyards, weddings, and funerals. Listen to the song. Pray in your own way. I know you're ready to walk. Oh, well, whenever you get this thing going, come down here, we respect you. Okay? Thank you. Thank you, people, for coming, for joining us.
Wow. Hard to emotionally keep it together. So we have one more speaker before I tell you more about the walk. This speaker, we'll have other speakers middle and or end, but the last speaker here at this site will be Roxanne Gaona, and she's one of our Amah Mutsun tribal youth. So if she could come up and give, thank you so much.
Good afternoon, family and friends. My name is Roxanne Gaona. This is Eric Zapata, Gabby Garcia, and Agent Moreno. And we are up here to represent the youth of the Amah Mutsun tribal band. All over the world, Native people are fighting similar battles for our society to listen to them and let them protect their land, their culture, and their sacred sites. Today we are gathered to bring awareness to our battle against the proposed gravel mine that would destroy our most sacred site, Juristac. Juristac is where our people gathered for our very sacred ceremony, the Big Head. But this was stopped when our people were brutally forced to leave their homes, including their land and our way of life, to be enslaved at the missions. Can you imagine that? Let's just take a moment to picture that. Being taken away from your parents, family, being separated, culture and spiritually erased. But today is so powerful because we are finally coming home and we're not going anywhere. And as a youth, it is our responsibility, it is your responsibility to make sure your stock is protected. Our dream as a youth is one day to bring our own children here for the Big Head ceremony, as our ancestors did before us for thousands of years and hundreds of generations. Thank you for all your support and for making this dream feel like a close reality. Ho!
We're extremely grateful for each and every speaker today. Powerful words, powerful voices, and especially coming together in this space. You could really feel the emotion, you could really feel the spirit. So again, thank you so much to each one of our speakers. Let's talk about the walk. There's a few things I want to make sure you know. There'll also be a lot of guides along the way, so if there's either something you miss or something I miss, there's plenty of people to answer questions along the way. So some of us are going to take a walk. Some of us are going to drive to the end, depending on your ability or desire. So the walk is about 5 miles. And at the end, there will be seating, snacks, restrooms, and water there. So if you get there a little early, there will be accommodations waiting. For those of you who are walking, we're going to try to all walk in a big group led by our tribal members. The walk is a time to connect, as you've heard several of the speakers say. There's also going to be vans. There'll be vans supporting us and pulling over periodically. If you need to take a rest, find a van. There'll be a van marked done. There'll be a van marked done, and that van will be shuttling back and forth to the end point. So if you are done walking, you can find that van and it'll shuttle you to the end. So you can find that van if you're done walking for that day. A couple more notes. We've also arranged for a videographer. Stella, is Stella around? Stella, okay. I believe there's a videographer. And also a Nesty. I know a Nesty. Where is a Nesty? I don't see either one of them. But if you do happen to see someone recording, we have asked, and we're so grateful that they have volunteered to help us out here by capturing the day. And we also want to again thank everyone who's worked so hard, not just in front of here on the stage, but behind the scenes. We have many people who got here early, who have planned the vans, the buses, the porta potties, the sign-in, the dinner. There's so many people behind the scenes that we really want to thank. We are so grateful for everybody coming together, spending countless hours planning this event and making today possible. Yes, thank you. We're getting ready to start the walk now, and we're going to invite everybody in a moment to join us. We're going to not only be led by our tribe, we're going to be led by the elders in our tribe.
going?
Good, you?
Right on, guys. Keeping it going good.
I'll push. Let me push. You can walk with my hands.
We'll stop. How about we stop before we hit the highway? Yeah. And we let everyone catch up. Yeah. And then from
money from the golf course, and if they don't get it, they'll just raise raise
Is that so terrible motorcycle water project?
Do the whole thing backwards, Wes?
If I can make it to the highway in time.
there is a plan.
That's impressive.
They can get up to the front and then we'll let you all go past again.
I think it might be.
chocolate song, so please join us back there. Got it back there? Yes. Oh yo yokela, 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 and in my hand, and in my hand, oh. Oh yo yokela, 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 dale my hand, dale my hand, oh. Oh yo yokela, 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 and in my hand, and in my hand, oh. Oh yo yokela, 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 dale my hand, oh. Oh yo yokela, 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 and in my hand, no, and in my hand, no.
Put up your banner!
Put up your banner so we can see them. There we go.
Recommend that, so you recommend it too.
Photo op. Absolutely.
Behind the staff or in front of the staff? You got car coming when you need them.
Yeah.
On your way. There you go, right there. Okay, the staff, hold on.
That's beautiful.
So,
Serenity, put that on the ground and put your foot on it.
Okay.
There you go, Marcella. Good job.
Oh! Oh!
Continue.
I'm gonna probably cry.
Absolutely.
I don't know how to do it.
First making the power. Oh man. Thank you. Let's go. Direct contact.
Car's coming, car's coming.
Go ahead, go ahead. Go ahead.
Show what you bought. Yeah.
Alfred, did you get on the back?
See what you bought.
Okay. Yeah, I think you have it.
I don't know yet.
This is the place to be.
You gotta give it back to like. Yeah, give it to him first. Give it to somebody else. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, that's what he said.
You want to go ahead? Go ahead.
Oh, we're creating quite a train.
I'm going to talk about the history of this right now. This was known as Juristac, and this is where the shamans lived. This is where the medicine grew. And in the old days, tobacco grew wild here, and hormones are up here, and other medicines all grew in this area. This is where the doctors came to their medicines. And this land, 1 league on each side of the river, was promised to the Indians. And so, after the seculation of the mission, there were a number of villages built along here. One was called Pescadero, over where the Pescadero Creek is. One was called Islita. That's where the San Benito and the Pajal River come together. And that create a little island and so they called it Islita. The next one was called La Brea. It's where the water comes down from the hills because there's tar pits in the hills. And then the next one was called Carnaderos because it's where they butchered the cattle. And then there was El Paradon, which means the wall.
the mountain here had a landslide. It was coming down as a wall, and so they called the village there El Paradon. And there were several thousand Indians living in this area. Well, and there were 4 primary ranchos that were created during the Spanish period. This one here was called Lomaritas Muertos, the little land of the dead. Across the Paro River was Juristac, the big head place. Then north of that was Las Animas, which meant the spirits, because some people called the shamans spirits. They called them more than that, but they called them spirits. And then there was Salsis Puedes, which meant get out if you can. And so these were all these ranchos. Well, when the Americans took over, you had to go up to Sacramento and give testimony that you had this property during the Mexican period. Well, the Herman family went up to Sacramento and they said, "Oh, we own Juristac," and the judges there said, "Well, it says here that that's supposed to be saved for the Indians." And the German said, "All the Indians are dead and they're all gone. There's no Indians anymore." So they gave that title to the German family, and then they sold the land to the Sargent family, and that's how it now becomes known as the Sargent Ranch. But the Indians were still living there at the time. My family was living on Isleta, and when they went to church, they came home and the house was boarded up and all of their possessions were out in the front yard. So they had to collect everything, and they went to live on the Anzar property to the west, near present-day Aromas. So these were our lands, and these were medicine lands, and this is where the shamans lived. And they weren't something you want to play around with. One of them lived right to the north of where the San Benito and the Pajal River came together, and we're going to go right by there. And it was known because they had a sweat house, and there was a layani. That was a flag that let the people know that they were there. And during the early Spanish period and the Mexican period, they didn't go this way to go up the valley. They went all the way over to almost Hollister and then went up, because this area was a power area and you couldn't go there. Same thing with Iraq, the rocks. I don't know if you know where the rocks are, but it was another power area. So when you go here, remember this is a power area. When I was walking there, I was remembering a game that used to be played here. It was called Gome. And they had balls. And the runners would kick that ball running to see who first would get to San Martin. So if you think you're tired going just to Beta Bell, remember you could be only halfway there if you were playing Gome. So thank you very much for your time. Thank you.
He looks a little anxious at first.
There you go.
beautiful.
You too.
What you just done here was what our people have been doing for centuries and centuries. I'm gonna go ahead and burn a little medicine here, and we're gonna fan the grounds as you walk in. Your feet are holy and sacred. Your thoughts, your prayers are holy and sacred. You have helped and called upon your ancestors today, and they are right here with you. They have always been here. Despite what you see out there, your ancestors are here. And for us, for me, it is a great honor. Someone who comes from the desert, comes from people who run constantly ceremony. It is a beautiful sight to see all of you. Aho.
Oh! Today's walk was historic. When have the people of this area ever stood and walked with the indigenous people of this area who've been here for this long? I know we had, a number of years back, we had a gathering to oppose Junipero Serra, the canonization of Junipero Serra at Mission San Juan Bautista. That was in about 2015, I believe it was. And I bet you we had less than 15 or 20 of the local community join us. And we asked people to come out and join us and to stand with us and to pray with us. And no one came, or very, very few came. But today, this right here shows that the times are changing. People are ready for healing. You know, our tribe, since 2011, has held, 2011, I believe that's right, held bi-monthly wellness meetings where we work to recover from historic trauma. And one thing we talk about in our wellness meetings is for wellness, it takes telling the truth. Only the truth is important for healing. Also, working to correct the past. Working to correct the past and to tell that true history and change the laws that continue to dominate and discriminate against Native Americans. And those many, many, many laws on the books. And we ask you to join us to help us break those down. And then the other thing is, and this is the most difficult one, is perpetrators. And I'm not calling you perpetrators. You are not the perpetrators. The perpetrators must heal. Perpetrators must heal. And by perpetrators, we're talking about the state of California and all those laws they have in the books. The cities and counties that have those immoral laws on the books. The Catholic Church. We asked if we could park our cars in the Catholic Church parking lot today for today's event. And they told us no. We could not park our Catholic Church grounds today. Healing. Perpetrators need to heal. And we need to pray for the healers. I want to tell you, today was historic. What you witnessed is many of our members coming together with the public. I'm most proud of an elder sitting here in the center. And are you going to be embarrassed if I can you tell us your name, your age, and what you talk about it?
And I know that my mother would be very proud of me for doing what I did, walking and making it. Because she always encouraged me in everything I did in life. You never say you can't do it, and you can do it. And she was proud of being a native. But she just didn't know that she always thought she was a Santa Cruz missionary. But I wish she could have lived long enough to see this. But I think she is. She's always listening.
And
and she's 83.
From the Solizano community, so I'd like to
Hi, I'm Marian Martinez. I'm a descendant of Ascension Solizano. I'm from San Juan Bautista, and my parents, my mother was secretary with John P. Harrington for the Smithsonian Institute. So I'm just very proud to be here today. I didn't make the full walk as my neighbor did, but I'm very proud to be here today. And thank you all for coming.
I'm going to ask a few other people to say words, but before they do, I'd like to introduce Shannon Rivers. And Shannon Rivers is a spiritual leader, and he works recently with the prison industries. But he's been working with our tribe for a number of years now, and he comes out for our stewardship program and our youth program, and he helps us, and he's a sweat leader, and he leads sweats. And I invited him to come here today and to say a prayer. And he was at a meeting in San Francisco, and he's on his way home now, and so he stopped by, and so I said I was going to ask him to say a prayer for today and the importance of today's walk. Thank you very much.
Skagodnik Anyapchagik Vishak Bayak Miratam Sapai Mashma. Good afternoon, relatives. It's good to see you. She told me she was 70, she said. So I was trying to get her number, but that wasn't happening. I'm kidding. So just to clarify who I am, because I'm not from these territories. I am from a place that you call Arizona. In our language, we say Arizona, a place where there's a lot of streams. So it's an O'atam word. The language I spoke to you was O'atam Nyog. And so the white man call us Pima Indians. Pima means those that don't know anything. So why is that important? Can you guys hear me? Okay. So why is that important? Well, it's important because indigenous peoples have been erased from the landscape for a long time. And the first thing they do is they take your name. And they take the name of the places that you know. So now we call these places San Juan Bautista. We use the words, who knows, what's his name, Sierra? Singapore, Sierra? Yeah, whatever his name is. But we use those names, right? And we call these places and we take these names away from our people. And our identity is lost. And I asked my sister there. She said, my mom didn't know what kind of native she was. And you know how heartbreaking that is to hear. Because I know where I'm from. I know the land of where I come from. But when we're displaced and we're erased, then you become nothing to the rest of this American society. And so racism increases. Violence increases. Poverty, militarization, and displacement happens. I work in the prisons of Arizona and California with many of your relatives. White, black, brown, native. And our prisons are full of these men and women because they are lost, because they don't have identity. And so they call themselves Bulldogs, Crips, Bloods, Northerners, Southerners. They take up names that don't mean anything, but it means a lot to them because they don't have identity. And so we're here because we're reclaiming and acknowledging that we belong here. That we belong and the mountain belongs to us. And that we belong to this land and this earth. and that we belong to that tree as much as it belongs to us. And so the river that runs through here, the water, the sacred water, even though they poison it constantly, it still is a blessing to have. And it's still important to us. And so I was asked to come and support the Amah Mutsun. I want to thank all of you, wounded, for being around so long, carrying the staff and the flags and the ceremonial items that we need. Thank you. For our elders, thank you all. You are beautiful. If you can walk 27 miles, I'm sure I can hitchhike home. I love you. Thank you very much for that. I'm going to offer a song, and I don't typically, we don't record these songs. These songs are ancient songs. And so if you ever see me on Insta or Facebook and I'm singing, it's somebody who looks like me. I don't do that. These songs are sacred, and they are held in our places, in the lodge, in the prison, in the ceremonies. And I know all of you are tired and hungry, but give me a second, because it is important to pray over that sacred food, over that plant, over the... Okay. Hold it like this. That's a little way, because I'm trying to yell. So, we're going to say this prayer, this song, and if you know it, sing with me. And what I tell the brothers in the sweat lodge, in the prison, don't sing with me because you sing horribly. But I love them and I care for them. And many of them will never come home. Remember them in your prayer. They are your brothers. They are your nephews. They are your uncles. They are your fathers. So I sing this song for them, and this song translates that I'm walking this red road. Make me humble as I carry these sacred items. Make me honor and pray the way my people did.
Who was the youngest that walked today? Whoa. Okay. Addie, did you walk the whole way?
Yeah, he did.
Addie, come out here, please. Why don't you tell us your name, tell them your Mutsun, and tell them how old you are, and tell us what you thought about today's walk.
My name is Adelina, and my family is part of the Amah Mutsun tribe, and I'm 10 years old. And I think the walk was very tiring, but also I'm glad to walk for Mother Nature because she provides a lot of stuff that we depend on.
Thank you. I know that we're hungry. I know that we're all hungry. I'm going to ask one more person to speak. Did you walk the whole way? Yes? Come on out and talk and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Serenity. I'm Amah Mutsun as well. The walk was very spiritual for me. I'm glad to see everybody out here. It's just great to see everybody here because we're all here for a reason, and it's really meaningful to our tribe and our people, and just to see everybody come together for it, it's really touching. So I just want to thank everybody.
Cat. Oh, there he is. Okay, Cat. No more hiking. Are we ready? What we want to do is we want to have an open mic tonight. We'd like to hear from people who are on today's walk. We really do want to have an open mic, but at the same time, people are hungry and thirsty and tired from that walk. So let's eat, and then come back to the circle when you get your food, and then we will. Then we'll have an open mic, and we'll be able to share some thoughts for today.